Hello, dear friend. How are you doing today? Summer 2023. I hope you're enjoying some wonderful weather wherever you are. In my last video, I talked about 7 promises, 7 rewards for overcoming, for gaining the victory, right? That are mentioned in Revelation 2 and 3. And I wanted to just follow that up with one additional mention of overcoming, the 8th. In addition to those first 7 from Revelation 2 and 3, there's an 8th in Revelation chapter 21. And so I wanted to bring that to your attention. It says here, chapter 21, verses 6 to 8, "He that overcomes shall inherit these things. I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But for the fearful and unbelieving and abominable and murderers, fornicators, sorcerers, idolaters, all liars, their part shall be in the lake that burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death." Right? It actually starts, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is thirsty of the fountain of the water of life freely." This is Revelation 21, 6 to 8. "He that overcomes shall inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son or my daughter." I add that in there for you. And then it continues on, saying, "Behold, I come quickly." Now this is Jesus speaking, right? "My reward is with me, to render to each according as his work is. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning of the end. Blessed are they that wash their robes, that they may have the right to come to the tree of life." Remember, it was mentioned in earlier at the very beginning of Revelation 2 and 3, that saying that you could eat from the tree of life in the paradise of God if you overcome, if you endure, if you gain the victory, so to speak, victory over yourself, victory over your doubts. And may enter by the gates into the city. Blessed are they that wash their robes, that they may have the right to come to this tree of life, and may enter in by the gates into the city. Outside are the dogs, the sorcerers, fornicators, murderers, idolaters, and every one that loves and makes a lie. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things for the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright, the morning star. And he ends in Revelation 22 by saying, "Yes, I come quickly." These are the words of Christ from Revelation chapter 22. So he gives one more mention of a promise for them that overcome, and it repeats the promise to allow us to eat from the tree of life in the paradise of God. So I just thought to fill out that follow up. That was the eighth promise relating to that word that's used, overcome, which means to gain victory, right? To gain victory over our circumstances, over ourselves. We are our own worst enemy. That phrase came up in the book that I'm currently reading called Rational Recovery by Jack Trimpey. And he was actually quoting Friedrich Nietzsche, if that is pronounced correctly. I like to pronounce it Friedrich Nietzsche. Or else I like to pronounce it that German philosopher who was insane and who was an atheist. He said that we are our own worst enemy. So the thing with Nietzsche, I'm reading his book, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, trying to at the same time. It's a waste of time. He does exhibit flashes of insight, maybe even flashes of brilliance, you could say. But he was insane, and it comes through in his writing. That added to the fact that you lose a lot in translation from German to English, so I don't recommend that at all. And it's supposed to be his masterpiece, supposed to be his best work. So, ugh. But that did come up in Jack Trimpey's book, Rational Recovery, saying that we are our own worst enemy. We are normally the source and the cause of our inner turmoil. We do things we regret, and then we dwell on them in our minds. We have a hard time to forgive ourselves. We have a hard time to forgive others. We have a hard time to get over things that have happened. There's this phrase people say, living rent-free in someone's head. Sometimes you have these thoughts about somebody else, but they're not even thinking about you. So why should you allow them to live rent-free in your head? That's another spin on the statement, we are our own worst enemy. We fill our minds with with all kinds of things. This is why a lot of people practice meditation. They want to clear their mind from all this clutter and pain and sorrow and anguish and on and on and on and on. And so if we can get out of that state and turn our focus away from ourselves and towards God by serving, towards God by helping the poor, towards God by doing good, towards God by appreciating and spending time in nature. All these things we can do to turn our thoughts away from ourselves and towards what is good. There's a scripture that says, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is wonderful, dwell on these things. The apostle encouraged us. Whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is good, let your mind dwell on these things, right? Instead of dwelling on all the drama and the bad news. The media loves to promote bad news. They use a phrase called, if it bleeds, it leads. So when there's a horrific story of a car crash or somebody dying, they put that right on the front page where you can see it and gain your attention and shock you and grab you, And sometimes we get sucked into that. We get sucked into all the negative aspects of life. Of course, there are negative aspects of life, but we need to overcome that. We need to gain victory over that. We need to focus on what is good, what is positive. And as we read just now, right? What did he say? He said, I will render to each according as his work is, right? So we want to occupy until he comes. So we want to work towards what is good. How can we produce works of God? Remember I mentioned that in the last video when they came to Jesus and said, what should we do that we would, or to John and asked him, what should we do that we should work the works of God? And the answer was quite surprising, because you could think, well, giving to the poor and helping those less fortunate than yourself and loving your neighbor, and all those things are good and wonderful things to do. But what was the answer? He said, if you want to work the works of God, believe in the one whom he has sent. It wasn't the answer I would initially expect. I thought it'd be like, maybe you have to worship God and set up some kind of, burn incense and all these things that humans naturally want to do when they worship a deity. No, he said, believe in the one whom he has sent. And Jesus gave us the example of serving. He said, I didn't come to be served, but to serve, to help others. And we follow the example of his life, the way he did. I mean, we can't do everything he did. And even he said that. He said, the time is coming. He says, follow me while you have the light. There's time is coming when no one can work in quotes, as all the miracles that he did. Now, a lot the apostles did a lot of similar works that he did, but you can see that gradual over time. He said, when I come back, am I even going to find faith on the earth? So Jesus knew that over time, that magnificent, miraculous light that he brought to the world would, in a way, fade over time. And yet he says that he shall preserve a remnant, right? He will not leave us as orphans. He says, I'll come to you and I'll reveal myself to you, make my abode with you if you abide in my word. So this is why it's so important to feed on the words of Christ and be reminded of his promises for us, and to look at and follow the example that he gave us. He even told us how to pray. He gave us the words to the prayer we call the Lord's Prayer, or the Our Father, where we say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, and so on and so forth. So he even told us how to pray. If we can say that prayer every day, it will put us in good stead. And he says, if these things are in you, that you have faith, you will be a valuable member of God's kingdom. You don't have to be a preacher. You don't have to be a prophet. You don't necessarily have to be some missionary, but you will be valuable in God's kingdom. He'll make you a pillar in his kingdom simply by endeavoring to persevere and taking hold of that promise of hope that he has given us. He said that he says, your Father has gladly given you the kingdom. Be of good cheer, right? He says, I've overcome the world. Be of good cheer. Don't be upset all the time. He says, stay happy, be happy, because he has overcome the world, right? He said, it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. He says, if he cares about the birds and the flowers of the field, how much more does he care about you? I don't know why all these flies are bothering me today. Maybe I'm saying stuff that they don't like. Just kidding. Anyway, I've reached my limit, so thank you so much for watching. God bless you. I pray you have a blessed day. I hope that you're encouraged today in your heart, your mind, and your faith towards God. I love you very much, and I wish the best for you wherever you happen to be. So have a great day. Enjoy nature. Get some fresh air. And don't forget, spend time with people you love. Talk to you soon, okay? Bye-bye now. Talk to you later. Bye.